All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again, man. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Got this video here. It says FBI reveals why DaCara Thompson's death was planned. Boy, I try to have a good life balance. Stuff that I, watch and consume, just to keep my mental and my sanity and my peace. But it's some stuff that needs to be talked about. It's a lot of evil in this world, y'all. It's a lot. It is a lot, and it's going to continue. You got to surround yourself not only with good people, but the right people. Keeping your peace and your sanity is very important moving forward. Well, we're going to check this video out. I don't even know if you guys heard about this story. But yeah, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
DaCara Thompson's parents just want her home.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
Baby, when I tell you that the details about what happened to DaCara Thompson just keep getting more gruesome by the day, child, is crazy.
Still under investigation. It appears that DaCara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male out of Bowie, Maryland.
As of now, I'm afraid we might never obtain the full truth from the suspect, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, as to how he convinced DaCara to get into his vehicle, because she left her purse in her parked vehicle, which was parked in a no parking zone, meaning she planned to not stay long, and she told her dad that she would be back soon.
Police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
Especially when,
I heard some people were saying that they think that she might have been selling herself. Because, you park your car in a non-parking zone and leave your bag and all that stuff. I know especially women be really cautious about leaving things behind, especially like your purse, because somebody can break in your car and take it, especially if you're in a no parking zone. Your car get towed, all of that's going with that. So that's already very suspicious right there,
we consider that allegedly they found other women's underwear in Hugo's bedroom. Are we talking about a serial unaliver here? Did DaCara know this?
And boy, hey, I'm gonna have to watch a Mr. Ballin video, because a lot of times this stuff be happening. That's them collecting their trophies. You never know. I'm not saying he is, but if they start making connections, they were like, wow, so this dude did this, he did that. Because it's so many cases that are unsolved. Or it could be the wrong person in jail. You know what I mean?
And prior to their meeting, and what exactly are the rest of the family members hiding? Child. Of course, there has been an even wider conversation going on, with some people claiming that in order for any black life to matter to BLM, it exclusively has to be a black life taken by the hands of a white person. Illegals don't count. That's why they're quiet about DaCara Thompson's death. And guess what? Social media has also been flooded with posts about theories of DaCara selling herself.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, I'm sure by now y'all have probably heard about what happened to DaCara, which is that she was first reported reported missing by her father just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd, and he told police that he'd last seen her the night of August 22nd. He said he called her when she hadn't returned home a short time later, but she didn't answer. He also told them she texted him that night that she was going to get gas and get back soon, but he never heard from her again. When she didn't go back home on August 24th, family members tracked the last location of her phone to the intersection of Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Hyattsville. And once there, they saw her car and called the police. Based on what the family said, DaCara is the youngest of 5, and they all share locations through the Find My Phone app. So when they checked DaCara's location, they saw that it was turned off, and that the last spot it was turned on was near the intersection of Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road. Now, up until a couple of days after DaCara went missing, the family was still hopeful, but they were scared because her bank account had gone untouched. Unfortunately, on August 31st, around 4:50 p.m., Maryland State Police responded to Route 50 between Maryland Route 424 and Maryland Route 97 in Annapolis for a disabled vehicle on the short bridge that is over the South River, where troopers apparently saw a body on their river embankment about 30 feet below. Then on September 3rd, detectives met with DaCara's family and said they were able to identify her through the pictures they shared. Reportedly, she had skull and facial fractures, and her family identified her through her tattoos and jewelry. But here's where it gets really interesting. Footage from August 23rd from 3:06 a.m. showed DaCara leaving her white SUV and walking from Jasmine Terrace down Riggs Road towards University Boulevard in Hyattsville. The surveillance footage showed her walk into the parking lot of a business on University Boulevard, approach the driver's side of a black GMC Yukon Denali, and appear to speak to the driver before walking around to the passenger side and getting in the passenger front seat. At this point, authorities say that they were able to obtain a tag for the vehicle and figure out that it was registered to someone who lived on Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland, Hugo Hernandez Mendez. But get this, when DaCara left with Hugo, she left her purse in her car parked in front of a fire hydrant. Who leaves their purse behind at 3 a.m. in a car parked in front of a fire hydrant, especially when they're getting into someone else's car? Was she planning on coming right back? Was she in a rush? Was she kidnapped? Or was she so familiar with Hugo that she felt safe enough to leave her belongings? And did she turn off her location tracker herself? Honestly, the timing, the location, the decision to leave her purse, all of it just feels off. Did she willingly meet Hugo? Was this prearranged or a spur-of-the-moment decision? And why in that specific spot? Anywho, on September 3rd, detectives said that they went to Hugo's home just before 9 p.m. And once there, they saw the black SUV parked in front of the address. They applied and were granted a residential search warrant for the address, and early in the morning of September 4th, they returned to the home. Before they could serve the warrant, court documents reveal that they saw a man leave the home and get in the front seat of the SUV. Then, upon being questioned, Hugo allegedly told authorities that he was at the Galaxy nightclub on University Boulevard in the early morning hours of August 23rd, which is across the street from where DaCara Thompson was seen getting in the black SUV. Police said he told them that he was supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend but never did, and when they began to question him more, he denied involvement in DaCara's disappearance and asked for a lawyer. Apparently, after executing a search warrant, police found what they believed to be DaCara's blood and missing white and pink French manicured fingernail, along with hair, a wig, and other evidence in the bedroom and in the trash, along with multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie. Hugo Hernandez Mendez was then arrested and charged with first and second degree unaliving in the gruesome death of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. ICE then issued a detainer for who they called a criminal illegal alien and said justice would be served for DaCara's family. In addition, investigators also said they believe Hugo unalived DaCara Thompson inside his bedroom early in the morning of August 23rd, and then drove her body to Route 50 between Route 424 and Route 97 in Annapolis and threw her body over the short bridge. Guys, to think that someone could calmly load her body into a car, drive along Route 50, and then toss her over a short bridge as if she were
It happens all the time. All the time. All the time. This is pretty normal for the ones who that be doing this. You know, I just feel like they need to do some more investigating and try to do any more, you know, like to cases that have been closed to see where the connections are, man. Pay attention to the clues.
Is almost too disturbing to process. That act alone shows a level of coldness and detachment that feels inhumane. And what's even more surprising is that there were people in the house when everything was going on, and they were also questioned by the police. So one person told the police they live with their family at the home and are cousins with Hernandez Mendez and two other roommates. The cousin told the police that she couldn't believe that a family member would do such a thing, but she also said that in the last 2 weeks, she rarely saw Hernandez Mendez and that his behavior had changed. She said that she even told her cousin to confess and reported that during investigations, her husband, Hernandez Mendez, and a third relative were taken in for questioning by investigators, and Hernandez Mendez was the only one not released. She also said that the next morning, federal immigration agents were back at the home, but this time to take her husband into custody. But she insisted that her husband has nothing to do with the alleged crime, and that he fully cooperated in the criminal investigation, and she did not understand how the criminal case against her cousin prompted an immigration case against her husband. Another roommate also reported hearing DaCara and Hugo having intercourse, and then a grunting noise which made them believe that someone wasn't enjoying the activity. Then after waking up a few hours later, they remembered walking outside and seeing that the GMC was not parked outside the house. They told detectives they thought that this was strange, since Hernandez Mendez reportedly does not work on Saturdays, and the GMC is usually parked out front. A third and fourth witness reportedly did not know anything about the overnight hours of August 23rd and told detectives that they live on the opposite side of the house from Hernandez Mendez. But the question is, did the people inside that house see and hear more than they're letting on? Are they protecting Hugo out of loyalty, fear, or even self-preservation? Because between the cousin's uneasy comments, the husband's sudden immigration arrest, and the roommate's eerie testimony, it's hard not to wonder if this family is holding pieces of the puzzle investigators are still trying to put together. And get this, Hugo already has history with the police, and it isn't just messy, it's a full-on cautionary tale. I mean, long before DaCara's name got caught up in this heartbreaking story, Hugo had already built himself a rap sheet that reads like the handbook of reckless driving. First, we're talking DUI charges, not once, but on multiple occasions. Then there's an open bottle issue, cruising around with booze in the car like it's a road trip to Vegas. It screams irresponsibility, but more than that, it shows a pattern of behavior. Add in operating a vehicle without due care and ignoring traffic control devices. Translation: running stop signs, blowing past red lights, parking where he wants, basically treating the road like his personal playground. Combine that with unsafe lane changes and you've got a recipe for chaos. In addition, Hugo was also caught driving on a suspended license. Like, senor, the state already told you to sit down and you still said, nah, I'll drive. But also, how was he still roaming around with all these charges considering he is, quote, an illegal? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Well, detectives are still working to determine whether DaCara and the suspect knew each other prior to her disappearance. But there are still a lot of questions. Like, why would DaCara leave her SUV sitting in such an obvious ticket magnet spot, purse inside and all? Was she planning on being gone just a few minutes? Did Hugo promise to bring her right back? Or was she distracted, not realizing what kind of situation?
All right, so I'm thinking possibly, well, I mean, I don't know if nothing's came out, but I'm just wondering, was she running out of gas? That could be a reason. Also, was this the first time she's ever met up with him? Did she feel comfortable? I don't know. But when you're looking at his rap sheet and they're talking about, ICE and all the people that seem to be getting arrested or detained who ain't got like no record, I don't know, man. I remember, I don't know if you guys know about that one story with the girl who like drove her car like extremely fast into a wall, and she had her boyfriend and a friend in the car and they both didn't make it. And the news came out and the investigating came out and they were like, camera footage showed that she had drove that route like many times to practice what she was going to do. And then even more news came out because they were showing videos of her showing money. She had all these shoes and stuff. And it was found out that she was actually selling herself. So I'm not saying this is what she did. You know, again, this could be a guy she felt comfortable with. You know, I don't know. But definitely they need to do some deep diving and see if there's any other type of connections, man. Because I'm telling you, man, when people allegedly, if this is like a serial thing, it could solve a lot. Yeah, someone saying this is awful. The investigators need to go through her phone and socials to see if she had some prior contact with him. Why turn the location off? Very sad. You know, she could have got in the car and he could have said, turn off your location. You know, man. Someone said, I believe he put a gun on her and told her to get into the vehicle. I just said that. Yeah. I feel like more and more information will probably come out, but I'm just wondering if they'll end up finding more connections. Appreciate you guys coming over and watching, man. Please like, share, and comment below. Peace out.